Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us today for the next webinar in our What's New series. In today's webinar, we'll cover some of the newest features in Microsoft 365 that you can implement in your business, as well as covering some of the more brand new features that are coming up that give us a bit of an insight into the future of where Microsoft is headed. Don't feel like you need to take notes or take it all in straight away, as we'll be sending out a recording and a follow-up fact sheet later today. Also, if you have any questions, please do feel free to drop those into the Q&A box at the side. I'll do my best to keep an eye on those, but there will also be some time dedicated for questions at the end of the webinar as well. So let's take a look at our agenda for today. We'll be starting off by looking at Bedroq and the 8 rocks process that we have here. Then we'll be looking at some quick updates that have come through for Microsoft Teams. Then we'll be looking at syncing your to-do lists across multiple apps with the help of Microsoft Loop. Then it will be the latest updates to Microsoft Copilot. And then we'll be looking at some predictions that are coming up from Microsoft's Inspire conference that is happening next week. Then we'll just be finishing up with what's next, the next steps that you can take in your business, and the next steps for signing up to future webinars as well. So let's start with a welcome for those of you who may not have heard of us before. My name is Jennifer Benge and I am the Marketing Manager at Bedroq. Bedroq is an IT managed service provider, and we're now also officially a Microsoft Solutions Partner for modern work. This means that most of the IT we implement is based on the Microsoft stack. This includes Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Azure, etc. If you'd like to know more about what being a solutions partner means for you as our customers or potential customers, then please do take a look at the latest article on our website, where we give you a bit more detail around what that means, all the extra bonus features that you can get as partnering with us as a modern work solutions partner. Bedroq are also experts in secure, resilient networks and managed IT solutions where high performance is critical. So this means that we work with organisations that have some of the highest security requirements in the UK. The most important thing we want to achieve, no matter what your business does, is to make sure that your IT strategy lines up and supports your business on a strategic level. We do this with the help of our 8 strategic rocks. So these rocks, as you can see on the screen here, are data, skills, backup, strategy, investment, security, quality of service, and collaboration. We believe that to have an effective IT strategy that supports your business, you need to have all of these 8 rocks supporting that strategy itself. The collaboration rock is the focus of today's webinar, as at their heart, Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams are collaboration tools. And we just want to make sure that as businesses who are probably investing in these tools, that you're getting the most out of that investment and that you're able to use these tools to their full potential. Another part of what Bedroq do is we offer a strategic stakeholder workshop. This is called the 8 Rocks Assessment. And this stakeholder workshop is designed to get a consensus on your business priorities. It can be conducted face-to-face or virtually over a Teams call. And all we ask is that the right people from within your business who are able to make those strategic decisions are on the call. There's no financial implication to taking this assessment. It's all just in order to help you decide what steps you need to take next to progress your IT strategy and improve your IT overall. So if you'd like to find out more about that IT assessment and the 8 rocks, then please do contact us following the webinar. So let's get started on some of the new features that are available. A few months ago, we talked about spatial audio, which aims to improve the sound quality of a Teams meeting by making the audio more immersive when using either a wired stereo headset or a built-in stereo speaker. The idea is that voices of meeting attendees across the visual meeting stage will sound more like they would as if you were in a physical room together. This works for meetings held in the gallery view, which is the most common view that you'll get if you set up a Teams meeting. This helps to make your conversations more natural, increasing the sense of audio presence. So rather than everyone just standing on the same tone across the audio, it's a more natural feeling as if you're sitting with people in a room. And it also helps to make the conversation easier to follow when multiple people are speaking together. So rather than the audio sometimes dipping in and out when people are talking, or the next person starts to talk when the first person hasn't quite finished, it aims to make that conversation a bit more natural, and just makes it easier to follow as a listener. So this is now available. So I'm going to tell you there are 3 ways to turn this spatial audio feature on. So you can do it before you join a meeting, by selecting which stereo headset or speaker option that you want to join with. And you can find this under the device settings and then into the speaker menu, and then just turn on the spatial audio toggle. You can also do it during a meeting. So while you're sitting in a meeting, you can select more settings, device settings, and then again select whether you're using a wired stereo headset or a built-in stereo speakers, and then turn on the spatial audio toggle there. Or if you want to do it just so that it's set up to come to be automatically available every time you join a meeting, you can do that by doing it in the settings, going to more settings, devices, and then toggle the spatial audio toggle there. So there's 3 ways that you can set up this new feature. Give it a try, see if it works for you. We'll be doing the same. I think probably if it's useful and it does what Microsoft say it will do in terms of making things easier to follow, nicer to listen to, then it's a no-brainer really, just to turn that feature on, get it working for your meetings and see how you go. The next new feature that we've got in Microsoft Teams is the compact chat list. So this is a new feature that will allow you to make a list of your open chats on the left side of your Teams window. It makes it more compact. At the moment, when you're looking at the chat panel on that left-hand side, you'll see the person or group name that is part of that chat, along with the first few words of the most recent message in that chat. This new feature will allow you to make this view more compact, so you'll only see the name of the person or the group in that chat, and this will then become bold when there's a new message to click on in that chat. This might help you to focus more potentially if you're trying to get a task done. If you don't see that first line of the message, maybe you'll be slightly less distracted in terms of wanting to read the rest of what's being said in that message. So if you're trying to focus on a particular task, you can perhaps just see that there's a message come in, but just ignore it for now and get on with what you're doing and then follow up later on. It could also be useful from a privacy point of view. So if you're often screen sharing and using the feature where you could just share your entire screen, not just one individual window, sometimes if you skip across Teams and the Teams app, you could potentially be showing off even just a few lines of some confidential information within those chats, within that chat panel on the left-hand side. So it will just give you a bit of peace of mind. If you are regularly sharing your Teams window or just your windows generally within a meeting, it just gives you that peace of mind that you're not accidentally sharing anything that could be confidential or potentially a bit embarrassing if you share it with the wrong person. It's just a way that you can cover up that message and make sure that you only see the person's name, not those first few lines of the message. So you can see how to do that there. It's just within your main settings menu. There's a toggle that will appear. I don't have this available yet. I think this is currently rolling out. It should be coming available anytime now. So just keep an eye on that settings menu and look within that the compact or comfy theme for your Teams settings, and you'll be able to toggle it on or off there, depending on your preference. Next up, we've got the ability to update your work location in Teams. So there have been a few updates recently across Outlook and Teams calendars that let you show where you'll be working from on any particular day or time. So I think this can be particularly useful if you're sticking to a sort of more regular schedule. So potentially if you're going into work every Tuesday to Thursday, then you can set that you'll be in the office on those days as a regular thing within your diary. What this new feature does is gives you the flexibility to easily change your location for any particular day at a time without impacting the rest of your week. So for example, if you've had a busy week and on one day after a few hours in the office, you decide to finish up your work from home, you can easily select that option in the menu just to show that you're now working remotely, so people know where you are at that particular day and time. So to change your location from Teams, all you need to do is simply click on your profile picture, view your account settings and change your work location for that day. You can update your location from any device, and anyone using the scheduling assistant in Outlook to schedule a meeting will then be able to see quite easily where you are and your updated location. So they're not going to put you in for a meeting that's taking place in the office if they know that you're working remotely. As you can see from this screenshot, I've done it this morning, so this is available now. So take a look if it's available to you. If it's not, it should be anytime soon. These things do tend to roll out in stages, so just keep an eye and see if it's available to you. Okay, collaborative meeting notes. This is something that's come up quite a few times over the last few months of webinars, so I just wanted to give you the next update here. This new feature is now available in public preview, so we're getting a few more little demos available just to show you how it works. So collaborative meeting notes will allow you and your teams to collaborate on an agenda, take notes together and track follow-up tasks within the meeting. Collaborative notes eliminate the typical bottleneck of having just one person responsible for taking the notes or writing down the actions, or even for putting together the agenda ahead of the meeting as well. It also makes everything visible to everyone who's in that meeting, which improves the accuracy and inclusion of everyone who's involved in that meeting at every stage of the meeting. So they'll be able to look at things in advance of the meeting taking place, they can collaborate on notes during the meeting, and they can track their follow-up tasks within that panel as well. So before a meeting, you'll be able to share the collaborative notes in a Teams chat or email to begin building an agenda together. This helps to ensure that everyone is able to include their topics for review, and the group will know what's happening regardless of which preferred Microsoft app they're using. So they'll be able to see the same agenda notes, whether they're within the Teams app or within the Outlook app. During the meeting, all participants are able to add last-minute agenda items, they can co-edit the meeting notes, and they can draft and assign tasks. So you can see who's working in the collaborative notes at the top and who can view or who wrote each part by clicking on the text. Project leaders and contributors can continue to share these notes and ideas during and after the meeting, so that if you're working on a project within that meeting, you can continue that momentum by just tracking those notes, the same notes that you wrote during the meeting, you'll be able to refer back to them, continue working on them following the meeting as well. As your team continues to work, they can also update the notes, check off tasks, and add new follow-up items from whichever app they're working in. So the captured tasks sync to the To-Do and Planner apps, so everyone is automatically reminded to follow up. All of these features rely on the Microsoft Loop functionality, which also leads us to the next update on our agenda. So this is quite a big chunky update that's coming through, but I think there will be further updates on the way, just make it a bit smoother. At the moment it's still a little bit clunky, but I'll talk you through what's happened so far. So the Tasks app in Microsoft Teams brings together all of your individual tasks from To-Do and Outlook with your team tasks from Planner, so that you can more efficiently cross them off of your lists. So I kind of envisage this as if you have multiple notebooks with all your tasks written everywhere, and it's just a case of collating those into one big list so you can just tick them off and have peace of mind that you haven't missed anything. Because these are loop components, they will stay in sync across all the places that they are shared. So if you tick something off in one place, so in the to-do list, for example, then it will also appear completed in everywhere else that you have that to-do item tracked. Task list loop components are also available in the communication hubs such as Outlook and Microsoft Teams. And as these tasks are added or completed, the updates stay in sync across all the places the task was shared. So no matter where those edits are being completed. So one of the items here that you can see in the menu on the right there, the assigned to me option just below the cursor, that will list items for you where you've been tagged in Outlook emails, for example. So if someone tags your name in an email and says, please, can you do this? Using AI, Outlook will then assign that as a task, and it will then automatically appear in this to-do list as well. Just again, it's instead of having that task within an email and you know it was in there somewhere and you're scrolling through your inbox and it's hard to find these things again, this automatically will just pull it into this to-do list for you, assign it to your name, and then you can track it in there and tick it off once it's done. To get a full overview of all the tasks you've been assigned or you've assigned yourself, you can obviously also add things to your own to-do list. You'll need to add the Tasks app to your Microsoft Teams platform. So you can do this just simply by typing in tasks in the search bar at the top of the Teams app, and you'll be able to add the app from there. If the Tasks app doesn't appear once you do that search, it may be that it just hasn't been enabled by your organisation. Just have a chat with your admins if you would like that feature added. Like I said, there are likely going to be more changes and updates coming to this new feature as we all get used to using the loop components in our daily work. So I'll keep you updated and let you know if I find any other tips and tricks for making this work smoothly and effectively. I would be interested to know of all of you on the call at the moment if people are already using any of these task lists. Do you use To-Do or do you use the To-Do app in Teams already? Do you use Planner for planning tasks across your teams? I'd just be interested to know, because at the moment I think, as I said, some of these things are a little bit too clunky to be effective and efficient, but I think as we're seeing more of these loop components and AI tools kind of building into these to-do lists, I think they'll just become much more efficient and we'll be building the to-do lists for us without having too much of a headache of having to plan it ourselves. Someone's asked a question just about the previous item. Does the collaborative team meeting require a certain license? Does it cost anything? At the moment, as far as we know, this is just going to be a feature that is built into your standard licensing, Microsoft 365 licensing. So as soon as we have any more information about that, I will let you know. But at the moment, it seems to be just a standard thing that's being rolled out, and it will be appearing sometime soon. But if I get any other further updates on that, I will let you know. I've got a couple of people as well. Oh, sorry, skipping ahead of myself there. Got a couple of other people coming in to say about using task lists and to-dos. Someone's using Asana. Yeah, I think this is, again, it's one of those things where Microsoft have noticed that people are using other options outside of the Microsoft universe and they're not happy about that. So that's where they tend to start jumping in and making their own features that to keep you within that Teams environment. But yeah, looking forward to hearing what you think, Lucy, when you're exploring it too. Some people, Sarah saying she lives by To-Do, cannot live without it. Also using Planner. And a few other people also using Planner as well. Really interesting. Okay, so there's quite a few of you on here who are saying you are using some of this functionality already. In that case, I think let's keep looking at these updates that are coming through, because in my mind, things can only get better in terms of when they're building in all of this AI functionality, the Copilot functionality that we're going to cover shortly. I think all of this is just going to build in to make something quite special, where rather than having to manually update all your own to-do lists, it's just going to be pulled in for you and you can just go ahead and actually do the work and tick it off rather than wasting loads of time on the admin. So yeah, really interesting. Thank you everyone for your feedback on that. I'll keep an eye on loads of people telling me how you do your notes. Thank you for that, and I'll scan over those and we'll go over some more of those in the Q&A, I think. Okay, so speaking of Copilot, let's take a look at the latest updates that we have here, because I know we're all highly anticipating more news on this. I know it's something that a lot of you have reached out and said this is something you really want to know more about. And yeah, happy to share as much as I can as and when we find out. I think it will just be for the remainder of this year, we'll be just getting a trickle of new updates to Copilot. There also, with Microsoft Inspire happening next week, I think there are going to be quite a few new updates to this. Microsoft do have a habit of holding back some of their most exciting updates around this time of year, just to be able to announce them with a big bang at Microsoft Inspire. So we're looking forward to finding out more next week that I'll be able to share with you. So new updates on Copilot that we do know about this month are that the testing and preview phase has now been expanded to over 600 Microsoft customers. It started off with a very small pool, and that's now been expanded to these 600 special chosen people. And plus, some of the features are also available to development insiders for an early look as well. General release is looking like it will be in late 2023 or maybe early 2024. Those of you who've been on these webinars for a long time will know the saga of Loop and how long that took from when it was first announced to now, when we're actually able to start talking about the things that you can actually start using. So don't hold your breath that any of this is going to come really soon, but I like to think that by the end of the year, we'll have something that we can start using with Microsoft Copilot. It will appear as a prominent button or panel in every Microsoft app that you're already using. So this isn't something that's going to be tucked away just for the techies to be using. It will be prominently available. They're going to be really pushing it in your face. Do you want help with this from Microsoft Copilot across all of your apps? So you won't have to go searching for it. It will just be available to you. They have also released some information about what you need to do to prepare for Copilot as well. So before using Copilot, organizations need to ensure that they meet the necessary technical requirements, which means that users must possess either a Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 license, as well as an Azure Active Directory account. These licenses provide access to a range of Microsoft 365 apps and services that will then seamlessly integrate with Copilot. So that will include apps like Word, PowerPoint, OneDrive, Outlook, and Loop as well. So again, if you wanted to have an overview of how all of those apps are going to integrate, we did that a couple of months ago now. So check back on the website or YouTube channel if you want a further in-depth look of how each of these apps will integrate with Copilot. We also still don't have final information on what the licensing cost will be for Copilot, unfortunately. We know that there probably will be an additional cost to use these features, but we don't have an exact answer from Microsoft as yet. Maybe that's something that they'll talk about at Inspire next week while they're releasing all the shiny new features as well. So, as I said, I'm expecting there will be many new updates surrounding Copilot and probably Microsoft Loop as well at the Microsoft Inspire conference next week. So this time of year tends to be a bit quieter for the new releases, as Microsoft wants to create as much hype as possible at Inspire and get us all excited for the new releases that will be coming over the next year or so. So we'll be covering all of the announcements that are coming out of Microsoft Inspire at the August webinar. So details for that will be coming up shortly. I will be attending this conference and making sure that I get all the details as well, just to share with you and let you know what's coming up from Microsoft over the coming years. So, bit of time for some Q&A now. I will scan back over all of the questions that popped in earlier. And if you do have any other questions over any of the features that we've looked at in today's webinar, please do feel free to drop those in now, and I'll do my best to answer those as well. Also, if you have any questions that suddenly occur to you later today and you don't have a chance to type them in now, please do feel free just to reply to the email that we'll be sending, and I'm happy to follow up later on. So the collaborative team meeting, we covered that one. We don't think it will be an additional cost at this stage. Lots of people's comments about all of the notes apps that they're using, or the planner and to-do list. Someone's saying we don't use the to-do items because they need the ability to add to the Outlook calendar. I see. So within that tasks app in Teams, they do have a sort of calendar view where you can view all of your deadlines that you've set yourself within there. But as far as I know, no, there isn't an integration that combines it with your standard Outlook calendar. But I'll look into that just in case there is something we've both missed. But I see that why that might kind of cause a bit of problem if you want that those calendars to merge together. Just publishing some of these as I go along. Someone already using Planner, and it will be great when it is able to sync with the to-do too. So it seems like we've got a few people in the comments who are either Team Planner or Team To-Do, and this will help them merge together so they're not having to pick one or the other. Everything will just appear across one. Brian using Notion, but going to try and use To-Do, so it's all within the same ecosystem. That's exactly what Microsoft want you to do, Brian. So they'll be very happy to hear that. Have used Planner and To-Do before, but both work quite well if your team is all on the same page. Yep, Ben, I totally get that. I think if not everyone is using these features, then it kind of makes it harder, because you can be assigning things to people, and if they're not even keeping a track of those items, then they're not going to see them. Did you say loop tasks are visible in tasks by Planner and To-Do, or is it planned? So it's using the loop functionality to publish those tasks across the three options. So anything that you publish in To-Do using a loop component will then also appear in Planner and tasks. So that's all coming out as we speak. As I said, it's a bit clunky at the moment. Things are getting better. I will keep an eye on all of those new features as they come across. Right, okay, we're running out of time. There are a few more questions. I will do my best to get back to you all later today. I just wanted to quickly let you know about the next webinar that we have coming up. So the next one is in August, will take place on the 3rd of August. Cara is going to publish the link in the chat there as an announcement, just so you can sign up straight away if you would be interested in hearing about all the new releases from Microsoft Inspire. We'll be doing an overview of everything that gets announced next week, and letting you know what you can look forward to over the coming year and what you can implement immediately within your organisation as well. So please do follow that link if you'd like to join us, or just follow the link in the email that we will be sending out later today as well. So that's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you again on the 3rd of August. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.